I want to make sure that it's very clear that the worlds, as we know that there's a very deep connection between the word and the word worlds. All you have to do is add an L. It's just the awareness that your mind is the world that you're living in. When your mind ceases to be connected to this world, it's like you're in a dream. You're in there now. That's where you are. Your mind is now focused on the dream, what you're calling the mind, the consciousness, whatever name you want to give it today. It's there. It's almost dead to this. So this means then if one is in a distorted world, or as I said, going horizontal, it's because the knowledge and the wisdom that they have is distorted. So very directly, what would happen when an L becomes an R? If you know that in Hebrew and in Arabic, the difference between the two dialects is an L and an R in their respective language. That's almost like the left hand and the right hand. They call it the double-edged sword. These swords or these words, right, have power, but there were two dialects. And so in these dialectical transfers, if like in Spanish, the V makes the B sound, right? So if even the names that you knew of your ancient country or your ancient heritage or your ancient ancestor, if the name had been changed, like instead of their name beginning with an R, it begins with an L now, or instead of it beginning with a B, it has a V, or anywhere through that, what would happen to your consciousness? So this is sometimes looked over because sometimes language is not seen to be that powerful. And I was taken to a point of when I was a child, when just to show how powerful the mind is, I always remember when I would get hurt, like I would fall or something like that, it would happen. And then I would wait for the rush of the pain. So like, let's say I slam my finger in the door, I would see my finger get slammed in the door and I wouldn't feel anything at first, but then I'd be waiting like, here it comes, the rush of the pain. So it was almost like my mind was telling me that there was going to be pain for me to feel it. Now, as you get older, it becomes natural. You hit yourself and you pain right away. But of course, those who really train and really practice know that the pain comes from the mind saying that, hey, you just slam your finger in the door, no matter what condition the finger is actually in. So it's an awareness again that if you have control of your mind, it would really mean that you actually had control of the language and you had control of the words, and that the order of the language and the words that are in your mind would be in the right order. I've always mentioned this as if anyone needs hope, is to remember that what has really gone on here on the planet and what can really get you to a greater stage within yourself can be articulated to you in English. So English is still a good enough language to where it can be articulated to you. English consists of 26 letters, A to Z. Now, you already know the 26 letters, you know A to Z. What you would just be missing then is the order of those words. Because those words or letters, put in the right order will explain to you every single thing that ever happened here, everything that you need to know. So it's that close is what I'm saying. You have the tools that are necessary to know everything. They're that close. But what you need is the order. And the order of things becomes so important. I always say that it's very similar to the gestation process of a mother that is birthing the child. The child is developing certain things in a specific order. So for those who don't like order, what happens if your heart develops before something else? So there's an extreme order going on, and whether the rebel wants to have the order or not, the rebel will just stay immature. The mature beings, they know the order because they know nothing can come against the order. As long as you are modeling everything after the order and how it all works, you never meet disappointment. So that's what I was saying. It was about the balanced knowledge, because if you could get this knowledge, you would never find any disappointment. You would see people all around you having a bad time. Just like, I think there's a part, I believe it's in Revelation, but it comes out of another book. It says that the kingdom of heaven will come, but people won't see it. It will actually be here, almost like it's overlaying the reality that everybody else is in. And everybody else would appear to be in the same reality, but some people will already be in heaven. So they said the kingdom of heaven will be amongst you or around you, but you may not be able to see it because it's actually something that you experience. It's not something that you want to see. It's something that you want to experience. So when you get into your mind and you put things in order, then you'll have the potential to experience it. Because I always tell myself this, listen, if you're not continuously progressing, you can't keep going on like this. You need to get more and more refined and clearer and clearer. And until that happens, anytime you ask yourself, what should I be doing? The answer should be that. That's going to be the biggest thing for you. That's going to make the most impact. But for those who really are able to succeed in this, it will be because they pretty much did it themselves. It won't be because it means that they would have worked hard for it. Why? Because they would have balanced out. If you're going to work hard, it's going to work hard for you. If you're not going to work at all, then it's not going to work for you. And that's how the whole thing is. It's literally a reflector. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, there's the speculative, and the speculative makes you think that it works for those who don't really take time with it and really try. So this is the encouragement today of why you should stay persistent on this process of coming into awareness of exact knowledge. And most importantly, about your origins and about your power.